Hey everybody, it's FallenDice, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Adventures with FallenDice. And we've actually been doing a bit, once again, we've got a bit of background work done while we were between episodes. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of fuel going. And come around here, show you that almost two full, coming from here all the way up, and then the third one. I've completely depleted my first and second oil reserves. So now I've got this going here, and looks like we may be almost out of one of those. I'm gonna have to move where I'm pumping my oil from, because right now it's just coming from here, which looks like it just ran out. So I'm going to have to move on to the next one. I will do that in a sec. Show you what all we've done. I prettied up our rubber tree plant. And I don't know why I call it a plant yet, just because it's just got rubber trees, and we go in and tap them. But here we are. Ended up, this just kind of randomly came together as I was doing patterns. It kind of looked like a tree, so I figured I would just throw in the rubber log at the bottom and some rubber leaves, and voila, we got trees. And if you come inside, you can see I already went through and did a lot of tapping, and they came back, so I've got quite a bit of resin already. And I'll just slowly start going through and doing this more and more as I need my rubber. And eventually, as I level up higher, I will go in and start doing some of the more efficient forms of that. Our cactus plant is doing really well. This is probably stack 14 and 15 of cactus. So I've already, like I said, I ran the pipe all the way over there, a couple hundred, and now my current oil well is about 380 blocks that way. So we've got all the pipeline heading over that way, all waterproofed and everything. For that right now, though, I have to be over a part of the way over there to sit there at AFK, so I'm close enough to keep the chunk with the mine loaded and the spot where we were sending the oil loaded. So that's my AFK position. Now I'm getting ready to start working on a power plant. And any of you guys that that have been watching me for a while will remember in my Better Than Buildcraft world, I had my factory, and in addition I had my power plant. And I'm not recreating the power plant, but I'm going to create something along those lines. So part of my power plant is going to be obviously power. So we need some combustion engine sets going, and we also need gates. So I'm going to have a couple gate rooms, one on the left and one on the right. And let me check my memory, because I think just got done doing some rendering and editing, and I may need to free up some space because I'm suddenly getting hit with a bit of lag here. So I will be right back. Alright, not sure what it was, but oh well. Alright, so I'm kind of playing with this and getting the feel for it as I go. Issue is I want to have, like I said, the rooms for the assembly table, but I also need to have room enough for a couple power plants and a control room. So this was just initially to kind of get an idea. This is how big a room I really wanted for my lasers and power plants, or laser and assembly tables. Now I could set them up. Let's see if I went like this. No, I need to go one a little further away. I want everything like 2 blocks from the wall. So this is like, say that's the wall. So the way I do it is I'll have 2 tables, but I can have lasers over here and lasers over here and here. And if I went all the way around, I guess technically I really only need it to be that big. And again, like I said, I'm just kind of playing with room sizes right now. This obviously won't be my final room design, just kind of why I'm also building it into the ground, just so I can kind of get a feel for the room itself. Alrighty. Door entrance. Alrighty. So I'd walk in, have lasers, 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 and lasers. And reason for having 2 assembly tables, in case you're wondering, it's not just to be silly. It's just when a laser or assembly table finishes something, it spits it out on the ground. Now, if it has another something that can accept an item next to it, it will go into that instead. So by having 2 assembly tables, it'll go up, finish one item and go into the next assembly table. Now, for items that take 2 stages, you can have this one set to create the first part of it. It goes into here, and then in this one have it set to make the second stage of an item. So as they come into here, it'll start creating, and it'll pop back into here, and your finished products will be over here. So there is a reason for setting it up like that. Now, the thing is, like I said, we could have 2 rooms, so I could have, you know, say diamond chipsets being built over here, and gold chipsets, or, you know, AND gates or gates. I could have it set to do both, which is kind of why I had the 2 rooms. And I do still kind of like that idea. So, I'll stick you over there. Let's just keep on playing with this. Now the next part is I want my control room. And in my previous world, the control room was at the beginning, not in the middle somewhere. So how I have these assembly tables, technically the control room should be up front here, and that may still happen. I may move things over. But I also need to have room for my power plants. So, this seems to be bigger than the other one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, there's more. Okay, I went too wide on this one. So, anyway, that's what I have so far here. I'm going to look at this a little bit and probably move this around. I made just kind of floor out how big I want the room to be for the control panel, and then the same with my power plants, and then fit them all together. But the control panel, once again, in case you haven't been watching me from the beginning, it's a room with a bunch of switches and light panels to show on off, and then some signs. So assembly room 1 is probably going to have 1 or 2 switches, and when you or levers, I should say, when you pull the lever, redstone lamp will light because of the lever being on, but it's also going to send a gate signal up to the power plant, which controls it, and using gates and stuff like that will turn it on. And then when you flip the switch the other way, the redstone lamp will go off, and same thing, the engine will go off. And then the room is going to have controls for everything that this power plant controls. So if I'm using it to control my refineries, there'll be a lever for refineries. So I can just walk into one single control room, flip a lever, and it will basically control every bit of every combustion engine I have in this place from one location. And that's the idea. So anyway, let me do some ideas, some design work and stuff. I was hoping not to completely cover that up, but so be it. And funny thing is this is a temporary location, but it's already starting to get a more finished look than a lot of my permanent ones. But that's just because I haven't gone into the decoration mode on those yet. So, all right. Well, like I said, I'm gonna play with this a little bit more. So, see you guys in a few. All right. So a little bit of tweaking and reworking, and we've got part of our room. Let me change the door here, just because I like things to look better. All right. So what we got going on here. Alright, we come walking in. This is the entrance to our power plant. So we walk in. This is kind of a welcome area. Over here is the entrance into assembly room number 1. Double doors going this way. I'd prefer to have the entrance over here. And you know what? I still can. Just because there shouldn't be access to any of the working rooms from the welcome center. Alright. So we come in through here. Here's assembly room number 1, assembly room number 2. And what all this is you have to have room to power your lasers, the ones in the walls and stuff. And this may actually have to come out one more so I can give myself a little bit of room. We'll see. But again, like I said, this is kind of like, you know, initial designs. If I have to, I can always move the wall out a little bit more. And I'll probably go back to my Better Than Buildcraft world, take a look at it, and see exactly how much room and space I needed. But I'm pretty sure 2 blocks was all the space I required. But that gives me enough room to put three rows of lasers and 4 rows of lasers, which may need even more power than that. We'll see. I mean more power than what I plan on putting in. Now, over here, this will be the control room. And I'm only going to need 8 panels because I'm going to have 8 banks of 4 engines. So altogether we're talking 32 engines total, and they get turned on 4 at a time. So each one of these, when you flip the switch, will control one part of a group of engines. And like I said, 8 banks of 4, but it'll be done in 2 groupings. So there'll be 2 groups of 16 engines, but each group of 4 inside of 16 can be turned on independent. And when I build this, you'll see what I mean. And that's where all this is going to be, is the actual engine rooms. And I have to remember exactly how much space I need. So before I do this part, I'm definitely going to have to go back into my other world and actually look at the engines themselves, take some measurements, and see how much more space I need, because it may also change other things here. And again, as you can see over this way, we've got room in the back. This is for the gates and the redstone and everything, so that when I flip one of these switches, it's going to go up into the ceiling area, or maybe even down underground, and to send the signals to the different engine groups. And then these are just hallways that'll take you into our engine room area back over in this spot. I may put windows like over here and over here, and maybe since that one's there, might as well do it over here as well, so they both have a similar setup. And it makes it easier for me to put like a viewing window so you can look at the lasers as they're working. It'd be kind of cool, you know. Two wide window there and 2 wide window there. Alright, yeah, so let me go take a look and see how much space I need, and then I'll come back and we'll get to work. Alright, so I had to go get a little bit more stone brick as we were running out, but we've had a few adjustments and changes. Alright, so I went back and looked in my world and realized that actually I only needed like 1 wide walls for most of the stuff. So this will be plenty of extra. And also the way I did it is, imagine we'll have 2 lasers here, and then pop up. It's kind of harder to explain here, but we need a bit of a roof. Okay, there we go. Gotcha. Okay, so where the dirt is where our lasers are, and our assembly tables are here on the ground. So 2 lasers there, and then 6 lasers up top. And so they all have direct line of sight on both of our assembly tables, which makes for efficient creation of our items, because every single laser can reach 1 table, so they can all power it. So it works out really well this way. And then that's about the size of the room. I can put like maybe 1 diamond chest in each one of these rooms in like a corner or something, just for getting the items. The next thing is our control room. And in the old one, it was 3 wide and 6 long. And I didn't want to go 6 long because it doesn't quite fit. I mean, I could maybe make it come in here, and that would be possible, but it also always seemed a little cramped. Because I had forgotten, I needed a space between each one of these because we're going to be using some torches and some things in the back. So by doing it this way, I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's my first bank, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is the second bank. I am going to have to widen things out a little bit because this is how far out the wall needs to go now. And it's going to probably take up quite a bit of room. This is going to be a fairly large complex. Now I may just decide to maybe run it up to here like this, and it'll just have like a little bit of a gap because that goes up into a caving area. And I don't mind leaving it that way. So since we'll be seeing it from the front, I'm thinking that's probably what we'll do is we'll just, it's going to run like, oops, sorry, run like this and over. So the back side will have a little bit of an extra section, and then maybe we'll widen this out one more to fit it in, or not. Don't really need it. This I do need the space here, so actually no. This will just go up to this point here, and I may even cap it at this point just because there's really no reason for it to go any further. And also it interconnects all my back workings, and actually I do like that idea. So actually I think we'll do that. We'll line it up here, and this will make it a little bit easier for me to kind of get around if I need to go tweak and play with some of my redstone. This will all be one big giant racetrack. Cool. All right. See, evolving as we go. That's what I love about about Minecraft and how it works. All right. So now here's the room here, and this is the amount of space we need from this cobblestone to, let me see, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. There we go. All right, to here to here. That's how big our bank goes. Get rid of that now. And I wanted to leave 2 walking spaces around it. So this, the engine will be from here over to about there and all the way across. This will be one full bank of 4. I have to think how I word this. We got two plants. We'll call it plants. So the plant is going to consist of 16 engines. So plant 1, plant 2. Each plant will have 4 banks. Each bank consists of 4 engines. So that's what we're going to count. We'll call it plants and banks. So, and they're going to be 4 centrally located around a single pipe, conductive pipe. And then it'll be 4 spaces between each bank. So you get a total of, like I said, 4 banks, 16 engines, 32 total when you get it all around. The other reason why I decided to go with this way is you need a combustion engine for each laser to get max efficiency. So this control room will be controlled by 2 full banks of engines. This control room will be controlled by 2 full banks of engines. So one complete plant is going to do nothing but control assembly tables, and then our other plant will be for whatever else we choose to control. So now I'm going to go through and fill out the rest of my floor plan here, space out where the 2 plants are going to go, and then we can come back in and we can start working on the walls. Again, like I said, I wanted to just do the floor plan first. Once we had the floor plan, then we can start working on walls, and once the wall's done, then we can actually start working on the different items here. So I'll do some work and I will be right back. Alright, and the design is now complete. Now it'll be just time to start kind of building. I'm going to do most of that off camera because this is just going to be building a building. But like I said, so we come in here. Access to our back rooms will be from here and here, which will give us more than enough space. This will be a walkway that comes into our engine plants. Here's plant 1 is over there. Plant 2 is over here. And then we got access into them from 2 spots here and here. And I have additionally have access doorways to go straight through, so if I want to get to my tree farm, I don't have to go all the way around the entire building. I can just come straight through, which I think is kind of a good touch. So my next thing now is I'm going to have to kind of decide exactly how I want to do my walls and stuff. One of the things I had decided on, as this is a power plant, I wanted to do power lines. and I was hoping that I could use like the new trip wires and string to make it look like there was wires going between them. But the thing is it didn't really look like there was anything going between them. So what I'm probably just going to do is we'll put up power poles. So running off of there, you get a little bit taller coming up obviously than this, but it looks like a good telephone pole. And it'll kind of give us a nice look. So I'm going to do this and then I'll be back. Alright, so we're back and take a little peek at the beginnings of our power plant. And I'm going with a, almost call it like a traditional factory look. So you can see up here, I've tried to go with like keeping the windows similar. The roof is going to have the slanted V's, kind of like what they did back in the day. It'll let light in from the angles, and then I'm going to have a couple smokestacks going up over there. I've kind of did a little design work in Excel. I think it should look pretty good. I mean, we'll use the stone bricks for the outside here. I'd like to do something other than windows, just to get kind of like the color, because it would be cool if they had like a tinted kind of glass. And I thought maybe I could put in like the redstone lamps, but they still have designs on the side. And I could probably put in like a darker wool or something maybe. But I'll probably just end up going with glass. We'll see as I kind of go through it. But again, like I said, we'll go. The roof will be the next part to kind of get the slants going in, and then the smokestack. I'll be using brick, but because of our cool side slabs, it definitely has more of a the look of a smokestack. I was worried it might be too big or too square, but this I think is going to look okay, especially when it's made out of like brick. So that'll look pretty cool. It won't be using the stone brick, just regular brick. And then of course we still have our room here, and then the upstairs, that's where we're going to be running all of our piping and things like that. So it's going to be more of a room for it'll have a use. It's not just going to be there to be there. It's going to be a utility room. I'm thinking maybe I should use this area back here as like a stairway to get upstairs. I mean, I could do like the ladders and whatnot, but maybe if we had this and access into here going upstairs, I may do that after all. We'll see. So far, it's just kind of getting the room sizes set up and ready to go. And design-wise, before I even start working on the insides, I want to make sure that the outside looks the way I want it to. So I think I'm going to get to work on that. And then also too, while I'm thinking about it, I've cordoned off where my next building is going to be, and this is going to be my industrial craft stuff. So I'll have a separate room we'll start setting up my macerators and some of that other kind of stuff. I won't be doing a nuke plant out here because I have no need to. That is going to be more towards my normal area. Out of curiosity, I wonder how much I have in here. I haven't checked this in a while. Nice, got some stacks of cactus. Definitely a nice little farm there. So I still need to glass up in there, but things to do here when I can't record and I just got some time. I'll go in there and touch up some of those things. But this is definitely looking good. So I'll get back to work on that, and I'll come back when I got something new to show you. Alright, so we have the beginnings of our factory roof now. And I haven't done any lighting up. I really need to. I got mobs spawning. So I like that so far. I need to go get me some brick. I don't have any brick out here, so I need to go back into town. I want to put up one of my brick chimneys to kind of see how that looks. I haven't decided if I want to do something along the middle to kind of break up the layers or not. So we'll see. Alright, so we got our first smokestack in there, and I think it needs to come further forward. I had them more centered in the middle, but I think it definitely needs to be closer to the edge. It'll make it appear to be bigger. Yeah, and And then I think it'll match up better. It just seems so far back right now, but I like how that is. So I'm going to go ahead and take it down, move it forward. I think plus having the second one so you can see both smokestacks will look really good. So I'm going to do those, and then I'm going to run this across. Maybe put some glass in. I haven't decided if I want to put glass like that yet or not. I don't know how I want to do that. So let me play with both of these items and that. Maybe put some glass in here. Like I said, do some tweaks, kind of see if I can make things look a little better, and then I'll come back after I got all this done. I'll show you what it looks like, because I don't want to spend the entire episode on the building, but I actually want to do some stuff inside. So let me finish up the building outside and the design, and then we'll come in and we'll start playing with some stuff for inside of it. Alright, time for another quick update. Actually, we're almost getting ready to the point where we're going to start doing some stuff. So here, the factory really coming together. I got glass on the back windows, you know, got the light coming down. It doesn't really light up the floor like it would back in the old days, which is what they did these for, but it kind of looks cool. Put some iron doors in the front because it matches up better, and I won't have any creepers or anything else sneaking into my factory and possibly exploding around dangerous volatile liquids and stuff. So far, that's the only thing I hate about about those kind of doors. Alright, so this is going to be our entryway. I will be decorating this. We'll have some furniture, some paintings, kind of make it look like it's a reception area. And then we've got our two rooms for our two laser assembly table rooms, access to the back. This will be our control room, and we've got all of our 8 switches with our 8 redstone lamps. This allows us to control it. I'll have you know, signs up telling what each one of these are, but here's where we'll be able to control and turn everything on and off. And then again, that's access to the back rooms area. Then over here will be our 2 power plants. So plant 1, plant 2, nice view of it. Again, we can go straight through if we want to go to the tree farm, back to our starting base. And then back here is access to the upstairs, and we'll be running a lot of our pipes, cables, gates, everything is going to be run up here, and even the possibility of going up higher into some of those little elevated areas on the roof. And in addition, we're going to do water down. So down here is where going to be all of our coolant stations. So right now I have 5 coolant stations set up here, and the way I'm going to be doing it is we'll have 2 controlling each power plant. Some crazy leg there. So these will be controlling power plant 1. Those will be controlling power plant 2. And this one here's purpose is going to be for cooling the engines that are going to be controlling the pumps, as well as maybe the pump for the fuel and any other thing. I don't want to go I don't want to put the high volume, or I think, I'm trying to blank on the name. I think it's the high volume pipes, waterproof pipes, because the more water you pump out, the more chance you have of depleting your infinite water source. So we'll go with the normal waterproof pipe, and that normal waterproof pipe can basically cool 2 engines. So each pump in here has 4 outputs. We can put 4 pipes coming out, so with 2 per, that's 8. So 8 engines and 8 engines, and as we said before, we're going to have 16 per power plant. So these will completely cool all the engines for one power plant, and those will be for the other, and I don't have to worry about any possibility of not having enough water to cool. And like I said, this will keep this cool, and any other type of engines, if we decide to stick something in here, it's just going to have extra, so we can cool additional items if we need to. Alright, so with all this done and decided, I love those chimneys, they just look so cool. Alright, so with all this decided, my first thing, and that's why I was already working on that down below, is coolant. I want the coolant first, because that is a huge part of our safety, fail safes, redundancy, all that kind of stuff, is we need to make sure we can cool our engines off. So we'll get the coolant set up for power plant number 1. And once the coolant part is set up, then maybe we'll put together the bank of engines and maybe hook one of them up or do part of the first one. My big thing is I want to get enough power to turn on and control our laser rooms over there. So let me think. If I remember right, I think one engine was enough to control each laser at optimum. So if I have 8 per room, that's 16, then that would be one full bank. So I'd really need to have this entire bank of engines running to get both of my rooms going. But I'm going to have to sit here and watch it. That's the thing, is I'm going to have to stay in my power plant area, because until I get gates, and gates being a very important part of this, but until I get my gates set up, I won't feel comfortable with fail-safes, and you'll see when I get to that point how I run everything. But I mean, it literally, they shut off at even the hint of overheating to keep myself from having explosions and anything like that. So alright, well, I'm gonna head downstairs. Actually, no, I had to get materials first, so I'm going to go this way. Yes. I'm gonna go grab me some materials. I gotta make me some combustion engines. I need to make me some pumps, waterproof pipe, and I also need to get some, what am I looking for? Conductive piping. So I'm gonna get all that put together. I'm gonna get all the materials I need, and then we'll go in there and we'll put this together, and we'll start our first bank of engines. All right, we are ready to get to work. So I think what we're going to do first is the one that is going to be powering everything. So I think I'd like to put it right here in the middle to make it the best access. I need to put a conductive or a intake, and some of these won't be used for a little bit, but we'll go ahead and get it set up to get started. I'm thinking we're going to put it right there. Yeah, so we'll just bring it over to here. And then the same thing on this side. Although, actually, you know what? It is nice to be able to walk. So, to be honest, I should probably at least put it this high. I'll save room to still be able to run something above it if I need to, as far as to get things upstairs, but I would like to at least be able to walk through here. Alright, there we go. Same thing on this side. And I'm going to be running the fuel in here from my other base, or not my other base, from where my refinery's at right now. So that should be good, just like this. So I'm going to be setting up a storage tank in here for that. And that's probably have to have some kind of switch or something to have it hook up to get it over to, from there over to here, but we'll figure that out in a little bit. Like I said, right now I'm all about getting, I need to make sure I do this the proper way. I'm all about getting the water sorted out first. The thing you want to be careful about with pipes is you don't want to make a loop. Now, had I put this here, it would have created a loop where it would have kept going in here, and we would actually lose our power. It wouldn't be putting out what it's supposed to. So that's good there. And like I said, I only need one engine because pumps are fairly efficient. You can run one, I believe, with a redstone engine pumped directly into it, and at a reduced capacity. So one combustion engine is able to do a very good job on these. So we'll watch it. If I do end up having some issues, I can always add a second engine, to add up into it, and then we'll have no issues at all for that. Okay. I'm not worried about those yet because we don't have a place for it to go. But that I am not concerned, worried about. So we'll go from here directly into it. And once it turns on, it'll power that, it'll suck it in and go right into there. The next thing is to get not electricity, fuel over here. So I have some tanks. Let's set those up for how I want it. And once I get gates, the tanks will be easier to automate as well. What we end up doing is set simple yes nos. If actually, let's change it over here. I want to be able to pump them into each other. So we'll have one that's producing or sending the fuel to all the other ones. And then, like I said, we'll have it set up so if one is empty, in which case I need more room, just from previous experience. If one's empty or if it has room in the tank, it'll send a signal over, and then at the next one you have another signal that says if it receives that signal, send redstone power, and that will then power the pump that is sitting underneath here and will allow us to pump the fuel from here into that one. Once it's full, the signal goes away. It no longer gets redstone, so it stops. So basically, as this one pumps fuel over into here, as well as up there, because that's what the whole thing down here for is, we're going to want to pump fuel up there as well. But as it empties out of here, it'll pull from there, and then the same thing will be here to pull from there. And then all we have to do is run the pump from that side over to here. And again, as we get the redstone stuff, or I mean the pipe wire and gates, I can have it set so if this is empty, it sends a signal all the way back to the engine that is not the engine. Yeah, it will be an engine that is over the intake pipe over there, and it'll start pumping fuel over here. So it'll keep these full. And technically, we probably only maybe need to do 2. But the thing is, I only have a limited height, which is why I want to have multiples here. So it'll probably just be the 4 high, 4 high, 4 high. So a total of 12. But like I said, now is we got to run our tunnel. So I think we're going to pump it into here from there. So we'll come over here and we'll make ourselves a waypoint, which will make it easy for us to get back to this point. And I'm actually going to go upstairs over to my refinery underneath one of the tanks, probably the back tank. I'm just going to start digging from underneath there, and I'll go from there straight to here. And I'll probably put like a redstone pump on there for now, just to slowly pump fuel over here as we work on the project, and just to kind of get things started. And then again, once we get our piping and once we get our piping and our gates, then I can start to automate it more. Not a big fan. So, all right, well, let me take care of that here real fast, and then I will be right back. All right, we have fuel entering in our engine. It's coming from down here. I've got a switch attached to a redstone engine right there, which pumps it this way, underneath, over, and directly into here. So we now have fuel. So as soon as I flip this switch and she starts running, this will start pumping water, and we should now start getting our water in here. There we go. So now this, as long as this doesn't run out, has the power to power all of these. Water is now complete. And if I remember right, it's probably going to be like one will be there, or sorry, yeah, one will probably come up there, one will come up there, and then there, and then the same with the next one over there. And then we still have to run our fuel as well yet. That is the one thing that we're still going to have to work on, is how to get our fuel up there. And we'll probably use the high volume pipes for fuel. that will allow us to basically run fuel and water right next to each other without them connecting, because it's really annoying if you get fuel into your water system. I mean, really annoying. It starts to go back and forth together. It's kind of a pain. All right. Well, that means our next step now, and I'm just going to turn this off because I'm not cooling anything but itself, and I'm not pumping water anywhere, so I don't need this to be running. So we'll shut that off, but we know this now works. So now it's a matter of going up, and we need to start setting up the banks of engines. All right, we're back. And now I can make what I needed. And the reason why I need this is I need something that can connect to other pipes that doesn't actually connect to other pipes. And being that, what I'm saying is, on my engines, they're all going to be connected with the pipe signals, but I don't want them to actually be connected to each other when the power actually starts to happen. So all 4 engines are going to be connected and coming out the conductive pipe. But then right next to it's going to be another bank of engines. I don't want those connected, so I need to have this structure pipe between it, which will prevent the energy from continuing down the path, but it'll still allow me to connect the pipes all the way through. It'll make more sense as we actually get to that part of it. So anyway, I need to clean my inventory up. I got to grab a few more items, and then I think we're about ready to start building our the first part of this power plant. All right, and we are ready to go. So here is how this is going to work. Our first engine goes here facing the ground, and actually, you know what? I don't want that right now. I want this, because we're gonna be taking power off of all of these from here. So we get that to there, and that to there. So now all 4 of these engines will be sending all their power to this one source here. And then we take that power, we take it out, and then we'll be either running it up or down depending on how we decide to do it. And I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, that's not good. Let's see. I gotta remember. Alright, sorry, I had to look at some pictures again for my previous design. Okay, so each one of these is 4 blocks wide, and so we're going to have our structure pipe here, and that's how it goes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll have this again with a wooden, 2 more of these, and it continues down this path. So it's 1, 2, here's our third one, and then our 4th one. There we go. And that was exactly the length we're looking to get. So at that point, power goes down there, power goes down there, there, and there. Alrighty. Now, in this case, since this power plant is actually going to be for powering our lasers, I'm actually able to just have it go up. So let's see, that's going to be right there, correct? Yep. Okay. And then that's there, there, and there. So all of our power will come from here and route up. It will not connect over into the next set of engines, but using this, what they call it here, the structure pipe, we're still able to send the same pipe signals through, so it's how we're able to control all of these from one spot. The next thing that we do now is we got cobblestone and stone, are two different types of waterproof piping. If we come up here, we can end up doing is that. There we go. That will connect those two. And then we come up over on this side. And then we're going to connect those two. And again, like I've said before, the key thing is to make sure that there's no loops in this entire process, because that will defeat the purpose of whatever you are trying to do, whether it be power or fuel, coolant, all that kind of stuff. Then what we'll do is we come over here and we do this again, but now we're routing fuel. So we're going to use the stone pipe now, as opposed to the cobblestone from before. And we just do the exact same thing, only on the other side. And there we go. All right, we are basically set up. So, like I said, each one of these pipe offshoots is going to be sending water to 2 engines. So we've got half of one pump going to the first bank, and then half of the second pump going to the second bank, and then these other 2 are going to go up into these awaiting pipes eventually, but I don't want to have the water just kind of sitting there waiting yet, so I'm leaving it as is. Cool thing about fuel is it all comes from one place. There's no need for them to be separated, kind of like it is here. So it all comes from right here, which is an offshoot of that same fuel pump that was filling up this combustion engine. So when I turn it on, it's going to come up here. It'll backtrack eventually and fill that once I have engines there as well as that one. But for now, it will go over and fill up those and those. And then, so I'm going to start doing that right now. Get those primed. And then, as well, might as well just start filling the engines up there with water. So we'll do this, and you can kind of see the water will start to fill up. We'll head upstairs and take a peek. Make sure that all of our engines are getting adequately filled with water. So water, yes. Fuel is going to take a little bit longer. You can see it's starting to trickle up. So I don't have fuel in that one. Not quite in that one. It's going to be slow, but it will get there. What I may end up doing, and I think actually I am going to do it, we're going to go replace the fuel pump. Instead of with a redstone, we're going to stick a combustion in there for now. Alright, so now I have water coming from our pump over here, and it's heading underneath the floor. For a lot of this stuff, I want to keep it as concealed as possible, not because I don't like how it looks, but just to make it easier to move inside this place. So water should be getting there shortly, and if I add a pipe right here, I think that'll work. Yeah, okay. It'll fill the when I turn on the fuel pump on that side. In addition to filling these up, it'll also continue to fill up our engine down there, which is important. Okay, so now we got water, so I'm comfortable in its safety. I'm not a big fan of having all these combustion engines going without my gates yet, but some things you got to do. Alright, so you're good. We should start seeing more fuel pumping now. We'll head upstairs and verify that the engines up there have fuel. Getting excited. A lot quicker getting to this point. Yep, there we go. Than I did in my Better Than Buildcraft worlds. But then again, you know, I've already done it once. Alright, so I need to... Whoa. A little bit of lag again. Okay. So we're good there, there. I need one up here. And I need one right here. So this gives me blocks to power all 4 of those. And then I'll just do the same thing over here. Okay, so we have good news and bad news here. Good news is it's operating very well and keeping cooled. We had to switch things up a little bit. I had to go to the golden waterproof pipes. Even the stone weren't enough to keep 2 engines cooled, and I wasn't going to try and run it to 4. So basically now, I'm running all of these off of a single pipe. So these gold ones actually work really well. And I also added in a second combustion engine to power that. So each one of these has a single pump going up into here, so I kind of overkill, but it's there if I ever need it again. And then I added some manual stuff over here to kind of move things over. So all my combustion engines right now are full of fuel, full of water, and operating well. In addition to that, we have quite a good stockpile now of our gates and things. So I was going to get started on setting up the automation. Got some some iron, gold, diamond. I think I probably have some more, another iron and gold there. Kind of going back and forth, making them here and then going over there. So the kind of cool. It just makes one here, puts it into there, and it comes back again. Gives us the final version of it. The problem I'm having is apparently in the release candidate right now for Buildcraft, they're having some issues with the gates accepting redstone as an input. It's just not detecting it, and this is the key part of my control room on-off thing. So right now I cannot set it up to control from inside my room here, unfortunately. So with that being the case, it kind of pointless to add in the other engines right now, because each one of these is going to have to be turned on and off manually here, and I don't have the fail-safe. If something were to happen to my water, I don't have any way of turning them off automatically without having them how do I explain this? What powers these is an AND gate, so it's taking multiple signals coming in. One of them is when I flip the switch, it's going to send a signal over here. So it has to have that signal plus this red signal, which is only going to come in if the water pump is in the green. If it goes to orange, because it's not getting watered, this will shut off. And then the third thing is this yellow one here. If this goes, it's going to say if it's green, send the yellow, and that's going to come over here, and then that's going to send a signal back saying if it gets a yellow to send our whichever one, and it has to have all 3 of those signals. It has to have the one coming from here saying that these pumps are all green, the water pump is green, and our power signal. And if all of those aren't met, then it shuts off, and this is our failsafe. But if I have a switch turned on here, it doesn't care about those. I could flip this on and off, or I could overheat all day and it wouldn't turn off because this is still powering it, and that's the problem. So until that gets fixed, I don't have a way of setting a failsafe. I have to sit here and monitor this and make sure that I don't overheat, because if this blows up, it's going to take out a whole bank of engines and quite a bit of other stuff. I do have it run though. I can kind of show you. So right now I have it coming off these 2. So we have a blue signal going and a green signal going, and they're heading over to these engines. Then the other ones are going to be coming, like I think right here and over here. So I'll have to adjust it when I add in the other engines. And I'll just do the same thing, blue and green again, but make sure I don't touch those. And then over here, same thing for going to this side over there. It'll get a little crowded up here, but that's why we have the space. And that'll happen, like I said, once it can detect a redstone signal, then I can set this up. And what I plan on doing with the second plant over here is it's going to go underground as well, but it's going to go to a quarry. And my plan for the quarry is to have 4 quarries going simultaneous. It'll have the corners will be like here, there, there, and there. So it'll be going that way, that way, that way, and that way. And they'll each be 64 block quarries, so technically I'm going to be doing about 128 by 100, no, yeah, 128 by 128 instead of 64 by 64. So it's going to be like 4 times as big as a normal full-size quarry, but it'll be running off a full set of engines. And then that should give us probably more resources than we could ever need. So that'll be that plan. But like I said, I'm kind of at a standstill right now because of the gate issue. So looks like that'll have to go on hold. I may construct the engines, and I may run all my wire and piping and get it all set up, and I can do that off camera, so that once it does work, it'll automatically be ready to go. But my next the next project we're going to do together, I guess, is we're going to go ahead and start getting into some industrial craft stuff. So first thing is we'll build our new little industrial building over here. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is get into the macerators and stuff like that, so I can start going through some of the ore I have and get that set up. And then we'll kind of work from there. And hopefully between now and then this will get fixed so I can start working on this again. But for now, I think we did really good. We made some really good progress again. I still got a bit of fuel over here and lots of oil, so eventually I'll start pumping this again. But yeah, I think that's good enough for this episode now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's definitely fun getting back into Buildcraft, and I'm really looking forward to Industrialcraft. So yeah, we'll call it here. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.